Coming to you from deep inside the bowels of a great big empty. Get ready for another episode of The Home Defense Show with Skip Coryell.
And that was Golden Glenn, the official announcer of the Home Defense Show, and I'm your host, Skip Coryell, author of 22 books, Marine Corps veteran, founder of the Second Amendment March, proud father of 7, grandfather to 20 and counting, and as a special bonus, I'm also madly in love with my own wife. My priorities in life are God, family, and country in that order, and I hereby promise to never compromise in my convictions. I may go broke, but I'll never go woke. And joining me today is my faithful co-host. You know, I say faithful because you were here with me last week and the week before that and the week before that, and the week before that. You are just so
Well, it helps
faithful.
It does help that I live here. So even when I'm sick, I'm still here.
Well,
it's been a rough fall for me, honestly. I missed a lot of things.
I know, but it helps that you haven't left me. Which is a good thing.
Thank you.
I mean, how many people in America can say that? I mean, I'm on my third marriage. So, yeah.
I'm on my second, so.
I finally found someone who wouldn't leave me.
Thank you. Well, you either. It takes two to stick to, yeah. You know.
Yeah. Well, all right. Let's talk about Halloween. By the time most people listen to the show here, Halloween will be over. Because we're recording on Halloween right now.
Yeah.
What are your views on Halloween? And don't hold anything back.
Oh, goodness.
You killjoy. Go ahead.
Right. You don't want to hear my views on Halloween. But something funny happened this morning. Well, I don't know if it's funny or not, but we have 2 kittens that came to us this fall. And one of them is black. And my son, who's very allergic to cats, he really does nothing with the cats, but he has a sister who adores this little black one. And so she's still sleeping this morning. He comes up to me really soft and he says, "Mom, I hear bad things can happen to black cats on Halloween. Maybe we should keep Turquoise close."
Oh.
And I thought that was just so sweet that he'd be worried. So in the morning, when she woke up, I kind of...
Yeah. Phoenix, he is... What words would you use to describe him? He's just sweet and gentle.
He's very thoughtful.
And kind,
he's
thoughtful.
Always finding quiet ways to help people out. He supports.
Yeah, he's more like you than he is me.
I don't know. Thank you. I think he's just a great kid.
All right. Well, you know what? You have a dim view of Halloween. I don't. When I was growing up, I loved Halloween. But I didn't view it as anything spiritual, Night of the Dead or anything like that. It was just free candy. That's how I viewed it when I was a kid. And back then in the 1960s, you could still go from house to house and, man, a kid could get a bushel basket full of free candy, without having to worry about having razor blades in the apples or fentanyl in the candy and stuff like that. But today, that's kind of what happens. I noticed today the FBI just staved off an international terrorist attack in Michigan.
Wow.
Yeah, slated for Halloween. So I'm glad they did that. But
yeah, good
So
watching.
we will stay home. We'll stay home and no one comes trick-or-treating anymore, which I really don't miss that at all.
No.
I really don't. People do like parties, churches give parties and things like that. And it's almost more of a harvest celebration than it is of ghouls and ghosts and goblins and things like that. Although that's still out there. But hey, I understand why you don't like Halloween, and I respect that.
Okay. Thank you.
All right. I won't dress up in a goblin mask tonight to scare you.
I did learn that...
You're not even going to comment on it. You're just going to let it go.
Wait, I'm sorry. I missed you.
I said, I'm not going to dress up in a goblin mask tonight to scare you.
Well, I should think you shouldn't. You've armed me.
Yeah.
That wouldn't be very smart of you.
I agree.
Goodness gracious.
I know. All right. Well, hey, enough of Halloween and goblins and ghouls and zombies and all that stuff. What's on the show today, Sarah?
Well, today we're talking to Vann Winn, who spent 30 years as an agent with the Drug Enforcement Agency, all about Trump's war on drug cartels. Then we'll be talking to self-defense instructor Houston Denham in the shootingclasses.com self-defense report, all about defending yourself against mob beatdowns in America's big cities. That
Yeah.
sounds intense.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. It's good stuff. It's all, I mean, mob beatdowns, that's not good, but it's a really good show today. So I
Mm.
think you guys are gonna like it.
Be nice to have a hopeful answer on what to do
Yes,
should that
yes.
arrive.
But before we get too far into the show, let's thank our sponsors, United States Concealed Carry Association, shootingclasses.com, Center Shot Indoor Gun Range, Trinity Training and Security, and Apple Tree Media. All right. I made special care today to choose news that was good relative to the news that is bad.
Okay.
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 So why
Okay.
don't you go ahead, tell us what's in the news today, Sarah?
All right. Trump and Xi Jinping come to an agreement. The U.S. President Donald Trump and Chinese President Xi Jinping reached a one-year trade truce during their face-to-face meeting on October 30th, 2025. That's yesterday for us. On the sidelines of the Asia-Pacific Economic Cooperation Summit in Busan, South Korea, marking their first in-person meeting since 2019. The agreement represents a tactical de-escalation rather than a comprehensive reset of the U.S.-China economic relations. Under the deal, China agreed to pause its planned export controls on rare earths for 1 year and resume purchases of U.S. soybeans and other agricultural products. In return, the U.S. will reduce tariffs on Chinese imports, specifically cutting the fentanyl-related tariff from 20% to 10%, lowering the overall rate from approximately 57% to 47%. Trump described the 90-minute meeting as amazing and rated it 12 out of 10. I love that.
That's the way Donald Trump was like that, right?
I love that. Emphasizing progress on rare earths, fentanyl, and farm trade. Both leaders agreed to revisit the arrangement annually and plan reciprocal visits in the coming year, with Trump intending to visit China in April 2026 and Xi expecting to travel to the U.S. later. While the agreement halts further escalation, averting a threatened 100% U.S. tariff and Chinese export curbs, it does not dismantle existing trade barriers or address deeper structural issues, such as industrial policy and overcapacity. Analysts characterize the outcome as a fragile truce that provides temporary relief for businesses, but leaves core tensions unresolved. I
I,
feel like the analysts are being a little bit harsh. I mean, goodness, considering the extent
yeah,
of the
yeah,
drain
yeah.
between us and China and the length of it, this
Well,
is really good to see any change at all
it
is
is. It
good.
is. For the last 4 years, the big concern is nuclear war with China, that they're going to invade Taiwan and take over. And uh, boy, just between you and me, the time for them to invade Taiwan would have been 2 or 3 years ago, because under Joe Biden, because I don't have full confidence that he would have done anything about it.
Yeah, I don't think
Yeah.
that.
I,
Well, we didn't get to find that out, I guess. God protected
Well,
them.
in my opinion, China is not our friend. They're bent on world domination, but kind of like we are too. But China's world domination would be different than ours. Um, we want to be the strongest and most powerful. We have a policy under Donald Trump of peace through strength.
Mhm.
Basically, if you're the biggest, the strongest, the most powerful military, then you deter war by peace through strength,
Mhm.
because people they don't want to mess with you. I mean, I'm thinking of Jake from church, right? He's like 6'8", a power lifter, right?
Yeah, he
I'm
fills out
guessing
every bit of that 6'8" frame
yeah, yeah.
for the big guy.
A lot of he probably doesn't get in a lot of fights because people look at him and go, no, no,
Pause.
I'll go fight somebody else. And that's what America needs to be. And my opinion is that's what brought China to the table. You know, Donald Trump, he only negotiates through strength. And if he's not stronger than the adversary, he doesn't negotiate. He waits until he is stronger, and then he does that. I think that's pretty smart.
Well, it seems to be making good progress with Xi Jinping.
Yeah,
however
Xi
you get it.
Jinping.
I'm having a hard time with
Sounds like a
I-
tin can rolling, bouncing down
Oh,
a stairway.
I'm just not used to the Chinese sounds.
Yeah, I love the Chinese food though.
It's
We
the
should
only
make an
kind that
agreement with
I
them.
like.
Yes, we want more Chinese food.
Well, the people of China versus the government of China are two
Yes.
totally separate
Yeah.
things.
I'm guessing if China had a fair election, they would not be communist.
I don't
That's
know.
my
Well,
guess.
first you might, I mean, there's brainwashing you got to count in there too. And I think
Well,
even our people are suffering from that. Like, I think if you get bad news, you get a bad population because they don't know what the truth is. So the news really matters. The news needs to
yeah.
tell the truth and needs to explain it honestly and clearly.
Well, this is the
That's
truth
what we're trying to do here, guys.
and my commentary,
And your
which
commentary.
may or may not be, correct. You take it with a grain of salt, but hey, this is good news for farmers.
I would like to know why you view China as being bent on world domination. And do you think it's a Chinese culture thing or do you think it's a Chinese government thing?
I think it's a communist thing.
Okay.
I mean, the Communist Manifesto from the beginning
Right.
has been
But that was
world domination.
born out of China. That was born
No,
in
that
Europe
was
somewhere.
Russia. That was born out of Russia.
Actually, I think it started in Paris when we were reading about it, but it spread all over the place. So
Well, Russia was the first communist.
try it out.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
They actually put it into play.
Yeah. To their
And certainly
trauma.
Lenin, Trotsky,
great
those were
trauma.
Russians. So, yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's good news.
Yes.
There was no bad news all week long. Absolutely zero bad news.
Really?
No. There was lots of bad news, but I picked the good news just to try and cheer somebody up. And I think you will like this particular story right here. The hero of the week. Who was our hero?
All right. Fort Worth, Texas. Police officers are being hailed as heroes after body camera video showed them and several Good Samaritans lifting an overturned car to rescue an infant pinned beneath it after a crash on Interstate 30 last week. Police responded around 9:30 a.m. Thursday after reports that a woman and her 1-year-old child had been ejected from a vehicle. When officers arrived, they found an overturned car as Good Samaritans searched the wreckage for survivors. Body camera footage obtained by Fox 4 in Dallas shows officers and the Good Samaritans searching for a baby girl before realizing she was pinned beneath the car. "Hey, over here," an officer could be heard shouting. "We need to move the car. I think the baby's under here." Fox 4 reported that witnesses helped Sergeant R. Nichols and Officer E. Bounds lift the vehicle to free the child. Dramatic footage shows the infant unresponsive as officers perform CPR to revive her. About 3 minutes later, the infant was awake and crying before paramedics arrived to take her to a nearby hospital. Police said the child and her mother are stable and expected to make full recoveries. Wow, that's a beautiful story.
Yes, aren't you proud of me?
Yeah, that was good.
Yeah. Well, there was a video of this. It lasted about 5 minutes, and I watched the whole video. I've never seen anyone perform CPR on a baby before.
Mhm.
And you just take the tips of your fingers, and not the hand like you would on an adult. But it was kind of pitiful because every time he would thrust down, the baby would go, like that,
Oh,
because, air being forced
through
through
its
it.
vocal cords.
Yeah, yeah. Um, but when he started, the baby wasn't breathing. There was no heartbeat. So clinically,
It was dead.
yeah, the baby was dead.
I guess.
Yeah, and he brought this baby back to life.
That's really amazing.
But it took 3 minutes to do that. And the whole time, even though I knew the outcome, I'm watching the video and you can hear everything. And I'm going, come on, baby,
Right.
breathe.
Oh.
But hey, that was awesome. I like articles like this because it reminds people of two things. Number one, most police officers are good people and they become police officers because they want to help people.
Mhm. Yeah.
Okay. And number two, Good Samaritans are alive and well. Okay. I mean, yes, some people will take out their cell phones and take a video of the baby dying without doing anything. but there are still plenty of good Samaritans out there. And if you are a good Samaritan, then do it.
Keep it up. Do your
Just
thing.
do it.
Do your thing.
Be the hero. It's okay to be a hero. And then afterwards, act humble.
Right. That's also important.
All right. Well, hey, we'll have some more good news next week. What's coming up next, Sarah?
Next, we are talking with Vann Winn, who spent 30 years as an agent with the Drug Enforcement Agency, all about Trump's war on drug cartels. Then we'll be talking to self-defense instructor Houston Denham from Oklahoma in the shootingclasses.com self-defense report, all about defending yourself against mob beatdowns in America's big cities.
In the meantime, God bless and stay safe, and be a hero. Because we will be right back.
Firearms training should be easy. Instructors can focus on teaching and not worry about all the complex paperwork and management behind the scenes. Just pull the trigger and let us do the administrative work. Welcome to shootingclasses.com.
At Center Shot Gun Range, we are passionate about training. Don't know where to start? We offer a 1-hour new shooter seminar to introduce you to the world of firearms and help you find training opportunities specific to you. Concealed carry, home defense, firearm safety, AR-15, private one-on-one training, custom training, or maybe you're on a security team looking to protect your church or business. We even offer weekday morning and evening classes. Center Shot Gun Range has you covered. Start your journey at centershotgunrange.com.
Firearms training should be easy. Instructors can focus on teaching and not worry about all the complex paperwork and management behind the scenes. Just pull the trigger and let us do the administrative work. Welcome to shootingclasses.com.
Attention business owners. Are you leaving your website open to security issues and hacking due to a lack of maintenance or overseas outsourcing? Don't let that happen to your business. Choose experienced U.S.-based website developers that can customize your website to fit your specific needs. Appletree MediaWorks has been growing businesses online since 2009. With over 80 years of combined experience, their team conducts constant research and development to keep up with ever-changing online threats. Your website deserves the best protection available. Call Appletree MediaWorks today at 877-977-1364 to keep your website secure and grow your business online. Or visit appletree.media.
Avoid danger, save lives, and keep your loved ones safe. If this sounds good to you, you sound good to me, and I'd like to help you do those things. Avoid danger, save lives, and keep your loved ones safe. If you're looking for more excitement in your life, we have nothing to offer you. But if you are a thoughtful, responsible, nonviolent man or woman, we'd love to teach you what to do if something crazy happens. More importantly, we'd like to teach you what not to do. We currently have over 500,000 members. They are doctors and single moms and firemen and grandmothers and veterans and Democrats and Republicans and members of every faith. But the one thing they all have in common is that they know exactly what to do if something crazy happens. When you're with one of our members, you are safe. Our members know how to de-escalate situations. They know how to calm things down. We are the United States Concealed Carry Association. See what we're all about at usconcealedcarry.com.
Discover the little-known backstory of the U.S. Concealed Carry Association at usconcealedcarry.com.
In today's world, safety and preparedness are more important than ever. At Trinity Training and Security, we offer comprehensive training for your peace of mind. Whether you're obtaining your concealed pistol license, mastering CPR and first aid, or engaging in scenario-based training, we've got you covered. We look forward to working with you in one of our classes or bringing the class to your church, school, or business. Need security for an event? Protecting your assets? Our team provides private security, close protection, media crew escorts, high security terminations, and more. Always with discretion and professionalism. With Trinity, safety is more than a service. It's a commitment.
He's old, he's cranky, his back hurts, and he can't remember where he put his car keys. But his mother still loves him. Welcome back to the Home Defense Show with Skip Coryell.
And that was a beautiful and sultry voice of Golden Glenn, the official announcer of the Home Defense Show. Folks, we live in a dangerous world, and I want you to be able to protect and defend the ones you love. And that's why I have this show. It's my way of empowering you to accomplish one of your primary jobs in life. You are a protector and a defender. All right, listeners, before we get too far into the show, don't forget to check out our sponsors, United States Concealed Carry Association, shootingclasses.com, Center Shot Indoor Gun Range, and Apple Tree Media. Without our sponsors, this show wouldn't be on the air, so we thank you all. And now I'd like to welcome back Vann Winn. He's a good friend and a retired DEA agent. Vann, welcome back to the Home Defense Show.
Hey, thanks for having me, Skip. Good to be back.
Well, Vann, I hope you're holding down the state of Georgia. You have everything's well in hand down there?
For the moment, seems like everything's pretty good here. So we just got some cool weather in. So that's unusual for us here in Savannah.
Well, I tell you what, define cool in Georgia.
Oh, 60 degrees this morning, man. It's like cold outside.
Oh my gosh. You're talking to a man in Michigan, and cool here. I think it got down to like 32 last night. And yeah, we've got our wood burner all fired up for, boy, like we had to start burning wood like 2 weeks ago because it's getting down pretty cold at night. But
It's all relative to where you live, right?
it certainly is. And I talk to people all over the country, and we always mention the weather because, the people that I call in Phoenix and Georgia and Florida and Texas, I talk about the intense 80-degree heat, and they kind of look at me like I'm nuts. But in another month, it'll be 5 degrees here, and then I can complain to you about that.
Yeah. Well, I'll call you in the summertime when it's 105 degrees on the range. So,
and humid too, right?
yeah, 100%.
All righty. All right. Well, I thought of you when I've been reading a lot of articles lately, basically about, the way Donald Trump is handling the war on drugs, and he's unleashed the military to go after drug cartels.
Right.
And, I'm still forming my own opinion on it. But I just did a search here. Basically, you can't get away from AI these days.
No.
Everything defaults to it. Even, I just typed in a search question. Is Donald Trump wrong to use the military to fight drug cartels? And it comes back, in about 5 seconds, 2 pages on whether or not it's right or it's wrong. And I think if we boil it down, it's like supporters argue that the policy is justified due to the severity of the drug crisis. And then critics argue that the policy is legally dubious and strategically flawed because it hurts our relationship with other countries. And it might not be legal according to international law and things like that. But I'm eager to hear your opinion on it because you're like, boots on the ground in the war on drugs for about 30 years. So
Yes.
what's your take on this, Vann?
Well, I start off like everyone else. I'm not a lawyer, so there you go. But President Trump's had his legal team review this, and it's always politics or politics. One side says yes, the other side will say no. That's just how things are. As far as I'm concerned, I think it's great. We've been saying since the 80s that there's a war on drugs, but there's not really been a war on drugs. We're doing our part, DEA's doing their part, but when we get our military involved and start locking down our borders and protecting our borders and keeping drugs from coming into this country and using military force, I'm actually for it. But I mean, that's not going to solve this, but that is certainly one strategy because cartels are smart. They're going to evolve. They're going to change. But everything we can do to deny and deter them to get into this country with drugs, I think we should do. And I think, this is killing 100,000 people a year. Just fentanyl is killing so many people, much more than most wars. And so how can we not get the military involved to stop this?
Yeah. Well, yeah, as far as the legal part, That's above my pay grade as well. And I suspect what will happen is the same thing that happens every time Donald Trump does anything. He's going to get sued by someone in the far left, and they'll find a political activist judge appointed by, Obama or Clinton or Joe Biden, who will stop him or at least put a temporary
Right.
restraining
Yeah.
order on it, and it'll have to go all the way up to the Supreme Court. I guess the crux of this is he has labeled them as a terrorist threat to the United States, and that's his justification for using the military. And he seems to be
Right.
doing all in international waters. Um, and the way it works, I guess, is they take these really fast boats and they fill them with drugs and they run them into the coast. Is that how it works, Van?
Yeah. And this has been going on for decades, and they take we actually just call them go fast boats, and they load those things up, and whether they're coming from one of these other countries like Venezuela, or they're coming from the Bahamas, or wherever, when these boats are out there, they're moving really fast. There's usually just a few people on them, but they can carry a lot of drugs. But the thing that I think is missing a lot of times when the press or even the politicians start talking about this is nobody's talking about the intel and the information these things are based on.
Right.
People are from the far left and, well, you could be killing fishermen. We're not killing fishermen. We have intel. We know what we're hitting before we hit it, and that's kind of nowadays. If whatever Trump does, even if it's perfect good common sense, the other side hates it because it was his idea. But yeah, there's a lot of intelligence. There's a lot of things that go into this. It's not just, hey, there goes a boat going really fast, let's shoot it. That's not what's going on.
Well, do you know any fishermen that have a boat that big that will go that fast
And don't have fishing rods on it.
That's right. That's right. Hey, we're trolling for sharks going 80 miles an hour.
Well, they're just trying to get to the fishing hole before everybody else. That's what.
Oh, okay. Is that what it is? Well, I thought it might be something like that, because when you have the military involved, you also have, you've got the FBI, you've got the DEA, you've got all of these sources that
Right.
are gathering this intelligence. And I would think, and correct me if I'm wrong, but if they come out in the news and say, okay, this is how we knew that
Right.
this particular boat was carrying drugs, then doesn't that jeopardize their sources and it may not work again the next time.
Right. Well, I mean, everything that we do, I mean, there's always got to be operational security involving how we do things. And, even the courts have ruled that some of the things that we do, we don't have to disclose our methods of how we're doing things, as long as we're doing things legal. Now, again, you're talking about information that's coming from other countries and it's happening in international waters. So U.S. law, search and seizure, all that stuff doesn't apply to these people out in international waters bringing drugs into our country. That's a totally different set of laws compared to what the laws are here in the United States.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, when they blow up a ship out in well, it's not the middle of the ocean because they're running in on the coast.
Right.
And I was reading here that the Colombian president, he said
Maduro.
Well, no, that was
That's Venezuela. Sorry.
Venezuela. Yeah, the Colombian president Gustavo Petro confirmed that some of those killed were Colombian citizens.
Well, of course they are. They're drug traffickers.
Yes. Well,
you can't kill a bunch of international drug traffickers without killing, unfortunately, some people from Colombia, probably some from Venezuela.
Yeah.
I mean, because those are what we call source countries. That's where this stuff's coming out of.
Yes. Yes. Oh, it's like, it's like saying, America doesn't have any drug dealers. You know.
Yeah.
But, probably every country has drug dealers, and just because they're one of your citizens doesn't mean they're a good person.
Right. Well,
Uh,
there's a difference between a citizen being killed and a civilian casualty.
oh, that's true.
Somebody who's not involved in any illegal activity or any war efforts. So just like when you hear about, they talk about the Ukraine-Russia war, when they talk about, Ukrainian, people being killed because they're just regular people. They're bombing, families and hospitals and stuff. That's way different than just saying, hey, there was a Ukrainian citizen killed, because that could have been a Ukrainian soldier. So there's a big
Right.
difference in those two.
Yeah, it could have been a spy. I mean, sure.
Yeah. Could have been a
Um,
lot. Yeah.
Okay, well, earlier you mentioned, okay, this is one way to do it, but I think you inferred that it's not going to fix it in and of itself. So
No.
you're implying that there are other things that need to happen or to be done as well?
Yeah. I mean, so, one of the things they talk about, well, your AI article talks about, we could damage your relationship with other countries. But, well, first of all, obviously, if we had a really good relationship with Colombia and Venezuela, they would stop this in their own country. But these are narco states. The narco terrorists have taken over these countries, and like Venezuela has become like a narco state. And
Mhm.
the President Maduro has allowed that to happen. And the same in Colombia, they allow this to happen. Of course, it's easy for us to sit here and say this because those drug trafficking organizations are so powerful. It's the old saying, they knock on your door in the middle of the night and they ask you if you want the silver or the lead. And and you have a choice to make, because if you don't take it, then they'll not just kill you, they'll kill your whole family. And,
Yeah.
and they do this until they find somebody that is willing to do what they want. And so that's why it's so important that we take super aggressive action on these guys. And, unfortunately, the people that we're killing that are bringing these drugs across, these are mopes. These are nobody who's important at all in the drug trafficking world. They're the mules that are doing the lowest end of everything. So it's not like we're actually getting good targets. We're just getting the people that are trying to make a little money from the drug cartel smuggling drugs. They're not like high ranking members of a drug cartel. Like anything else, whether it's a military operation or drug trafficking operation, we have to focus on the infrastructure, the command and control structure of these organizations, and we have to go after everything. DEA had a program where we called it the kingpin strategy. We'd go after the kingpins, and that's good. But again, you can't just go after the smugglers. You can't just go after the kingpins. You have to go after the entire organization, including its assets. The only reason they are doing this is for money.
Right.
So you have to start strangling off that money. You have to start finding that money in all these foreign accounts and assets, and you have to start seizing all this stuff. When you start taking away their money, you start taking away their power. Because if they can't pay all their soldiers, pay off all those government officials, and do all these things, they're going to lose their power. So it has to be a multifaceted approach to drug trafficking. And we're doing that. I mean, it's not like the DEA is not doing it now. We're already doing it. It's just, this is one step. And I think it's a step in the right direction, because you're sending a real clear message to these narco terrorists that we're not going to tolerate this anymore. We've tolerated this for years. We've had president after president allow this to happen and not really do anything.
Mhm.
We know it's going on, and we just don't do anything. So I think what he's doing is a great start to showing that we're actually very serious about stopping this.
Yeah. Well, one thing that this doesn't impact or affect really is, why is there such a great demand for drugs in the United States to begin with?
Freedom, unfortunately. When people have freedom, they have the freedom to make good choices. They have the freedom to make bad choices. And unfortunately, we live in a culture that's it's a microwave culture. We want everything. We want it now. We want to have a good time. And people, will use these things. The one thing that, we hadn't really mentioned is what type of drugs these are. Sometimes it's going to be cocaine. Sometimes it's fentanyl. Sometimes it's carfentanil. And, fentanyl is finding its way into everything. I mean, fentanyl's finding its way into just a joint of marijuana. So, and it is so dangerous, and carfentanil is like 10 times more dangerous and 10 times more potent. So just imagine, I think we've talked about this before, but if you're mixing something up and you put fentanyl in it, it's like cake batter. If you're making a cake mix, and you don't get it mixed really good, then when you eat the cake, you have a couple of little lumps in it, right? And it doesn't taste good.
Yeah.
Those lumps in that
the baking
batter
soda
will kill you.
I hate the baking soda in cake batter when it's not mixed right. But yeah, okay, that makes sense. One thing that I read the other day was about the China aspect of this.
Yes.
I guess fentanyl is different because you don't have to grow a plant. You don't have to have like boil things down. It's a lot easier to make fentanyl than it is to make other things, because you can make it in the lab. You just need the right ingredients, and then you mix it together, and then poof, you have it. But this article said that a lot of these ingredients for fentanyl are coming from China, and they're very inexpensive.
Yes, because they're not regulated in China. So, and then the stuff that is regulated, there are a lot of companies in China that you can get on the internet and you can buy almost anything. And that's a real problem. We work cases when I was still active with DEA, we worked cases where people would order fentanyl, literally over the internet, and receive a kilo of fentanyl or a kilo of what, a kilo of whatever. And they would get it. And then that goes a really long ways. So, they would, and China's a huge supplier of this stuff, probably one of the biggest in the world, if not the biggest, of all these precursors and even fentanyl itself. So yeah, China's a real problem. And, they are a communist country, and we need a relationship with them, but don't be mistaken. They are not our friend.
Yeah. Well, it sounds like it's a question of national security as well. I mean, China, they're not stupid.
No.
Militarily going head to head, they probably can't whip us. So they kind of do the Trojan horse method, where but hey, if we can affect America's ability to field soldiers and a thriving economy and a functioning, civilization, then they'll deteriorate, they'll rot from the inside out, and then we don't have to whip them.
Yeah, exactly. And China has a very long-term strategy in this. It's not anything short-sighted. It's a very long-term strategy. And so they do, like you said, they do all these little things, these Trojan horse ideas, to sabotage us from within. And that's, ultimately, it's not what's going to happen in the next 4 or 5 years. It's what's going to happen in the next 100 years. Or 50 years. Or, a lot of things are going to change. And like you said, if you can keep our country just happy and partying on drugs, guess what? That takes away a lot of our good potential people to be soldiers and other things in our government that could actually be a benefit to the country instead of a hindrance.
Oh, yeah. Well, the Chinese, they invented chess, did they not?
I don't know about that one.
I believe that they did. And, they're chess players. So they take a long-term strategy. They don't do something without a reason. They're going to follow up somehow. But I guess in closing, Vann, what would you say to people who take illegal drugs now, just for recreation? They start out as a recreation. Hey, I just need to unwind after work. What is the big picture that they need to know?
Well, the recreational user is the problem. It's like when we think of drugs, we're like, well, that guy's a drug addict and he's a terrible person. Well, yeah, maybe so. He has a problem that's got out of hand, but he didn't start as a drug addict. He started as a recreational user, and then had, eventually went further and further. So I think the people that are doing this need to look in the mirror. If you love your country and you're pro law enforcement and you're pro military, then look in the mirror, because what you're doing is going to cause the deaths of law enforcement. It's going to cause the deaths of soldiers, and it's going to cause the deaths of these people coming in from other countries doing this stuff. If there was, as kind of said, if there wasn't a demand here, this stuff wouldn't be coming here. So,
Yeah.
and that's why I say you got to have a multi-pronged strategy, and one of those certainly is, drug education and trying to get people off of drugs and helping to get people off drugs. But it's got to be everything. We can't just blow up boats, and we can't just say, oh, we just need to educate people, because people know drugs are wrong. They know drugs are illegal, and they know they're harmful, but they do them anyway. It's just like cigarette smoking. How many cigarettes do we still sell in this country when we know beyond know that it causes cancer?
Yeah.
But yet people still do it.
I was teaching a pistol class 2 days ago, right? And I was talking to a woman, and I made a reference to cigarette smoking, and this woman, she was about 45, and she said, "I have tried to stop 100 times in the last 25 years," and
wow.
She says, I cannot stop, and I know it's going to kill me, but I can't stop anyways. And I said, well, why did you start in the first place? She says, well, because I was a kid and I thought it was cool. And I go, well, I bet you wish you could take that one back.
Oh yeah. Well, and take that to the next level of that addiction she has with cigarettes. Take that to illegal drugs or to opioids or whatever. Then that it's even now it's way harder to stop opioids than it is to stop smoking, and she can't even stop smoking. So it's people like her that try this and go out to have a good time and take a couple of things. Next thing you know, they just can't, between their chemistry and their brain and their personality and maybe a lack of willpower, or maybe a lack of knowing God, they can't seem to get outside themselves, and they can't stop. And it's a like running wide open down a dead end road. It's going to end. You just don't know when, but it's going to come to a really abrupt end, and it's going to be bad when it does.
Yeah. Well, you just mentioned one of the things that I think needs to be dealt with, and that's the spiritual aspect of this. I mean, when you look at America, one of the things I think that drives people to drugs is there's no meaning, there's no purpose in life. They're nihilistic, and they have no sense of God or purpose or the afterlife. And it's like, hey, if there's no purpose to life, then I might as well, eat, drink, and be merry, for tomorrow you die. And
right.
So I think personally we need to turn back to God as well. And if our society did that, we would have fewer people turning to drugs to get their purpose.
Yeah, well, I think all of us have a, as the kind of the saying goes, everybody has a Jesus-shaped hole inside of them, and if you don't put Jesus in that hole, then you'll fill it with something else, and often it's bad things, drugs, alcohol, or promiscuous sex, whatever it is. It's usually bad stuff that people try to fill that hole with, because they know they're missing something, they just don't know what it is.
Yeah. Absolutely. All right. Well, hey, Vann, that was a great analysis, and we're going to have you on again because I don't see this going away anytime soon. So you keep your tools sharpened, because we'll be calling you again, Vann.
No worries. I look forward to it. Hey, we got at least 3 more years of this.
Yes, we do. Well, Vann, before you go, tell people how they can find out about your training.
Sure. Yeah. I own a training company called Reticent Warrior Tactics. Reticent is just restrained, reserved, quiet, professional. So reticentwarriortactics.com. You can find all my training courses, firearms, Krav Maga, tactics, whatever, right there.
All right, Vann. Thank you very much for being on the Home Defense Show today.
My privilege. Thanks, Chip.
All right, this is Skip Coryell on the Home Defense Show. Coming up next, we'll be speaking with Houston Denham, a self-defense instructor from Oklahoma, in the shootingclasses.com self-defense report, where we get some excellent advice on defending against mob attacks. But during the break, I want you to log into rumble.com and search on the Home Defense Show. I posted a series of entertaining and educational videos there just for you. Check them out, and don't forget to like, share, and follow. God bless and stay safe, because we will be right back.
Firearms training should be easy. Instructors can focus on teaching and not worry about all the complex paperwork and management behind the scenes. Just pull the trigger and let us do the administrative work. Welcome to shootingclasses.com.
At Center Shot Gun Range, we are passionate about training. Don't know where to start? We offer a 1-hour new shooter seminar to introduce you to the world of firearms and help you find training opportunities specific to you. Concealed carry, home defense, firearm safety, AR-15, private one-on-one training, custom training, or maybe you're on a security team looking to protect your church or business. We even offer weekday morning and evening classes. Center Shot Gun Range has you covered. Start your journey at centershotgunrange.com.
Firearms training should be easy. Instructors can focus on teaching and not worry about all the complex paperwork and management behind the scenes. Just pull the trigger and let us do the administrative work. Welcome to shootingclasses.com.
Attention business owners. Are you leaving your website open to security issues and hacking due to a lack of maintenance or overseas outsourcing? Don't let that happen to your business. Choose experienced U.S.-based website developers that can customize your website to fit your specific needs. Appletree MediaWorks has been growing businesses online since 2009. With over 80 years of combined experience, their team conducts constant research and development to keep up with ever-changing online threats. Your website deserves the best protection available. Call Appletree MediaWorks today at 877-977-1364 to keep your website secure and grow your business online. Or visit appletree.media.
Avoid danger, save lives, and keep your loved ones safe. If this sounds good to you, you sound good to me. And I'd like to help you do those things. Avoid danger, save lives, and keep your loved ones safe. If you're looking for more excitement in your life, we have nothing to offer you. But if you are a thoughtful, responsible, nonviolent man or woman, we'd love to teach you what to do if something crazy happens. More importantly, we'd like to teach you what not to do. We currently have over 500,000 members. They are doctors and single moms and firemen and grandmothers and veterans and Democrats and Republicans and members of every faith. But the one thing they all have in common is that they know exactly what to do if something crazy happens. When you're with one of our members, you are safe. Our members know how to de-escalate situations. They know how to calm things down. We are the United States Concealed Carry Association. See what we're all about at usconcealedcarry.com.
Discover the little-known backstory of the U.S. Concealed Carry Association at usconcealedcarry.com.
The mere sound of his voice makes women swoon and men storm the gates of hell. Welcome back to the Home Defense Show with Skip Coriel.
And that was the beautiful and sultry voice of Golden Glenn, the official announcer of the Home Defense Show, and I'm your host, Skip Coriel. Don't forget to check out our sponsors, United States Concealed Carry Association, shootingclasses.com, Appletree Media, and Center Shot Indoor Gun Range for all your training and equipment needs. And now it's time for our weekly self-defense report, sponsored by shootingclasses.com. And today we're speaking with Houston Denham, a self-defense instructor from the great state of Oklahoma. Houston, thanks for coming back on the Home Defense Show today.
Thanks for having me again, Skip.
Hey, no problem. How are things in Oklahoma? You holding down the fort there?
We're holding it down. It's kind of stormy right now. The clouds are dark, wind's blowing hard. It's been raining all day. It'll probably blow out and be all dry and hot tomorrow. This is Oklahoma. It changes every 5 seconds.
Yeah, it's the same way in Michigan. Today we've got, it was sunny and high. I think we got all the way up to 60 degrees today. It's unseasonably warm, for which I'm thankful.
I think you got warmer than we did. So.
Yeah, isn't that crazy?
Wow.
All right. Well, all right, Houston, we got an action-packed, crime that we're going to talk about today. I'll go ahead and I'll read the article, and then I'll get your take on it. Here we go. On September 10th, outside G's Bar in downtown Grand Rapids, 2 security guards were working just outside the entrance on the sidewalk. The 2 security officers became concerned when, just after dark, a group of 20-plus teens moved into the area and seemed to take over the street. The teens noticed a homeless man sitting nearby and began to verbally harass him. The armed security officers looked on but chose to hang back and just observe. But then one of the teens stole the homeless man's bike. The old man tried to get the bike back and was taunted and then knocked to the ground. That's when the 2 armed security guards decided to intervene. They tried to retrieve the man's bike and to verbally de-escalate the teens. The teens responded by attacking both security officers. They knocked them both to the ground and began kicking them in the back and stomach. Others punched the officers in the head and face. The attack was caught on surveillance video and lasted for about 30 seconds. Finally, the attack ended when one security guard, who was also an amateur MMA fighter, was able to break free and come to the aid of his partner. Neither officer drew their firearms in the altercation. Neither officer was seriously injured, but both suffered from quite a few scrapes and bruises. Police arrived 15 minutes later, but by then the teens had left the area. No arrests were made, but the investigation is still ongoing. What do you think about that, Houston?
All I can say is I think those teens are very, very lucky that none of them lost their lives.
Yeah.
20 people against 2 people? No.
Yeah.
We're starting to see the same issue here in Oklahoma with these I don't know what they call them, drift cars or whatever, where they take over an intersection.
A street takeover, yeah.
Yeah, and do all this drifting and stuff around, and it's out of control. I mean, the teenagers nowadays know that nothing's going to happen because they're underage, and it's time to start holding the parents accountable for their teens' actions. I mean, they're still minors, and you know, if a teenager gets arrested, you know what, the parent, regardless who it is, should have to pay a fine on top of that. So I don't know what to do with this. I mean, I see it, I read it every day here in Oklahoma City. Highway Patrol. I mean, they've even blocked off Interstate 40 doing this crazy stuff. And it's I don't even know what to say, but you're gonna have to hold somebody accountable. These parents have got to stand up and start taking care of you know, corralling these kids. They're out of control.
Yeah, for sure. And basically what you allow, you teach. And if kids can do this with impunity, I remember being a teenager, and it's like, we were always pushing the boundaries, seeing what we could get away with. But, we always got stopped because the adults would stand up and say, listen, boy, we're going to tan your hide. But nobody's tanning their hides now. And so they just keep pushing and pushing and pushing. And if there's no boundaries at all, what's to stop them from killing people, burning down houses, cop cars, which, they do from time to time. Where's the end? I don't see an end in this that ends very well for anybody.
No, it doesn't end very well at all. I mean, just like you said, I mean, I got reprimanded many times doing stupid things as a teenager, and racing down Main Street with another car and all that. But I never put anybody else's life in danger. I thought, but I mean, these kids are, accidents happen, and people get hurt, and that's the stupidity that these kids don't see.
Yeah. I think, Houston, eventually they are going to pick on the wrong person, and that person is going to pull out a gun, and he's going to kill one of these teens. And, if it happens in a blue city, which most cities are blue, the citizen who was defending himself will probably get charged with a crime. They'll blow it out of proportion, like a George Floyd kind of a deal. But I've already talked to my wife about this. I said, hey, if we ever get in a situation like this where we're attacked by multiple people like this, I said, you get behind me, you draw your gun, I'm going to draw my gun, and if we can't de-escalate these guys and we can't get away, then I'm going to shoot the first one, and if they keep coming, I'll keep shooting them. But I guess my view is I'm legally availed to use of deadly force when I'm attacked by adult-sized multiple teens. I'm not going to take a beating at age 68 because these guys could kill me. by kicking me and beating me like that. And I'm just not willing to die so that they can have a good time.
Exactly. That's where I was going to go with my next the sentence. I mean, they're lucky that one of those security guards did not pull his gun. I mean, you're
Yeah.
looking at 20 individuals attacking these two guys. I mean, if it would have been me, there'd have been multiple deaths. I mean,
Yeah.
if you put me on the ground and I can't get up, something's fixing to happen. I
Yeah.
mean, that's and I'm in my legal right to do that.
Yeah.
And of course, the media would have blew it all out of proportion. Here we got a security guard that's killed 2 or 3, 4 teenagers, but they were kicking him, attacking him, but they wouldn't even put that in there. The media sucks really bad.
Yeah, yeah, that's an understatement. This was all caught on video, and I watched the video, and it was pitiful. I have a confession to make here. I wrote this article myself, and it happened to a friend of mine, a guy that I work with. I have a part-time, a weekend security gig that I do, and this happened while he was on duty, working for the same company that I work for. And if this had happened to me while I was working like that, or even when I wasn't working, I would draw my gun, and if they wouldn't back off, then they would get some hot lead. That's just the way I feel about it. And I have plenty of good legal defense insurance that I've never used, and I would certainly use it. And because there's like two fights. There's the fight that you have to fight to save your life, and then there's the fight you have to fight to save your freedom if you get charged with a crime. So that's how I view it.
Exactly. You first your life, and then I have the same insurance. I mean, you can't go wrong with USCCA. I'm not trying to give them a plug here, but you know what? I'm one of these guys. I won't draw a breath, blink an eye before I press a trigger. If you're in the wrong and you're attacking me, I won't put you down. And
There you
I
go.
worked too hard for 62 years to build something for it to be tore down by individuals that are non-productive.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
absolutely. Hey, we are on the same page here. I know, to a blue-blooded liberal, we probably sound cruel, but the cruelty is when parents don't teach their kids right from wrong. They let them hang out on the streets and hurt other people. That's the cruelty. And then to pick on a homeless man, I mean, come on, that is way too far. And these kids, they need to be taught a lesson.
I agree 100%. I
Uh,
mean, these kids think they're entitled, and it's getting to the point that it's getting out of control. And if the laws won't allow us to hold these teens accountable, it's time to hold the parents accountable for their teens' actions, because they are an offspring of them, and
yeah.
they raise. If you raise your child that way, then you got to pay for it. So, and that's just
Sounds good to me. Sounds good to me. Well, all right. Well, hey, we got this one nailed down. Next time you come on, we'll solve some of the other world's problems, Houston.
I wish it was that easy, but yeah, uh, I love being on your show. I love discussing this stuff, and I hope you keep having me on. So,
Oh, I certainly will. Houston, before you go, tell people how they can train with you.
well, you can find me on shootingclasses.com/TAC/. We do everything from basic handgun training all the way up to disability shooting to tactical training. I have my own private range. There's nobody out there but us, and I can train people the way I want. They need to be trained.
Awesome.
And USCCA is been a good partner with me, and I back them all the way.
All right. Well, Houston, thank you very much for your analysis, and thanks for being on Home Defense Show today.
Thank you, Skip, and can't wait to see you again.
All righty. All right, folks, that about wraps it up for this week's show. I've had a good time, and I hope you have too. Please don't forget to thank our sponsors, Center Shot Indoor Gun Range at centershotgunrange.com, shootingclasses.com to help you find the right trainer for your needs, Apple Tree Media for website security, and the United States Concealed Carry Association. For all your self-defense needs, go to uscca.com. I've written 20-plus books, and they're all available on Amazon.com in paperback, ebook, and audiobook. This week, check out my 4-novel series, The God Virus. I think you'll like it. And also check out the Home Defense Show videos on rumble.com. And if you want training from me in person, then check out Midwest Tactical Training at shootingclasses.com. Please join us again next week for all your home defense needs. In the meantime, God bless and stay safe.
Thank you for joining us this week on the Home Defense Show. Now, get out there and protect the ones you love. We'll see you next week with more of the best.
Bye-bye, boys! Have fun storming the castle!